Now, on New Year's Eve last on RTE1, Gay Byrne with Adam Clayton launched an auction for his beloved Harley Davidson to raise money for the Children's Medical and Research Foundation at Our Lady's Hospital for Sick Children in Crumlin. Bids were accepted online, as they say nowadays, up until 9 a.m. this morning. It was a nail-biting finish, right up to the last second. Live on air, we are now going to announce the new owner of this magnificent machine.
Ta-da!
Harley Davidson XL 1200S Sportster. To fill us in, I have the utmost pleasure in welcoming one of our originals. He's back. Because let's be honest about it, he never went away in the first place, Mr. Gay Byrne.
Good morning, Jerry, and
Excellent.
thank you for your
morning,
kind compliment. There is the cheque, what I am holding up in front of your eyes.
Hold in your hand a cheque.
€30,000.
Well, that is an enormous amount of money, isn't it?
Isn't it just? And the very generous donor is none other than Mr. Harry Crosbie.
Mr. Harry Crosbie, what will he do with it?
Well, you may ask, for I have just questioned him on this very matter, and he intends to put a nail in the wall in Vicar Street and hang the Harley therefrom, to the astonishment and amazement and amusement of the passing hordes.
Yes, I wonder how long it'll last there. He has artwork already up on the
He
wall.
certainly has.
This
Are you
would be
suggesting that our Harley is not a piece of art?
I am suggesting nothing of the kind. Apparently it was an action-packed morning. The bidding, as I've said, closing at 9 a.m. sharp. Earlier this week, they had settled on €25,000. A bid put in by Vicar Street. Then Country Kitchens bid $26,000.
Right.
At 8:40 a.m. this morning, Vicar Street came charging back with $27,000.
With a strong showing.
Then Country Kitchens came up with just a nice head between them, $27,500.
Yes.
And then in the dying seconds, it's like a derby. This at 9 a.m. Harry Crosbie came back in with 30.
By a neck.
I wonder how much the bike's actually worth. If just
I would imagine that new, I suppose it would be around 14,000. Second-hand market value, probably, of course.
But of course, having had the Byrne posterior upon it on several occasions, and all that goes with that, of course, it has increased enormously in value.
Undoubtedly added value in that fact, Gerry.
Think Tutankhamun, and I think you've got some idea of what
something like that,
Now,
yes.
tell us a little bit about the bike and how you came upon it.
Well, as you know, as the world knows, to my astonishment and amazement, it was presented to me on my final night on the Late Late Show. And I had often, I was into motorbikes when I was a young fellow, but I was 30
I think that
years
came
off
as a
motorbike.
surprise to a lot of people.
What did?
The fact that you were into motorbikes as a young fellow.
Yes.
We all knew that you flew.
Yes. No, I was into motorbikes as well, but I hadn't ridden for 30 years. But many times I had seen fellas, I was aware of motorbikes, and I loved looking at fellas riding motorbikes. And I had often said to myself, I'd love to ride a motorbike again before I die, but it's extremely unlikely, because I knew if I went home and said I'm buying a motorbike, you know who and her two daughters would have ganged up on me on the spot, certified and straight in. And so I didn't buy a but having been presented with the motorbike, that's a very different thing.
I see, it's hard to send that back, isn't it?
Absolutely out of the question. So I took some tuition, which I would recommend to everybody who ventures on a motorbike.
Who gave you the tuition?
A very, very nice man called Seamus Kelly of the Fingal County Council, the safety officer, called me and said, would you consider lessons? Do you think that would? I said, yes, I would. And he assigned me a man called Tom Kelly, no relation, who is a lovely, lovely man, is the ROSPA instructor here in Ireland. And he took me on, and I did about, 14 days off and on with him, doing all aspects of riding. And I would recommend that to everybody who ventures on two wheels. It's extremely
Because that's basically
important.
why you're still alive, really, isn't it?
It is a safety course. It is trying to teach you how to ride with safety and to be aware of what everybody else is doing. And they start off with the great expression, the minute you get on this thing and go out there on the road, believe me, everybody else out there is out to kill you. Now get that into your head and get it finally in your head, and you may stand some chance. And they're absolutely right.
Now, of course, this is a real motorbike, unlike the little Singer sewing machines that go flying around the place and that annoy me and I believe many other right-thinking people so much. This is a genuine, proper, real motorbike. Now, it's a big mother of a thing, isn't it?
It is 1,200 cc's. You have two big 600cc pots underneath you going boom, 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 boom. So it behoves you to learn how to use it properly and ride it properly and be aware of what's going on.
Will you miss it? Or are you getting another one?
I have another one already.
God, oh, but be fantastic to be rich.
Well, you would know about that, Gerry. God knows.
Well, it took a long time, but however, you know that path. You trod it yourself. And what's the new one?
The new one is a Honda Deauville.
That's huge.
No, it's not.
It's
not. It's only a 650. It's only half the size.
It's a baby motorcycle compared to this. Because you know that, well, you probably don't know, but maybe because it is a matter of public record, that I did, after you got the bike, I arrived home and said, in a kind of a sort of way, I said, I'm now a middle-aged man now. I said, I think insurance wouldn't be a problem. I said, are you talking about getting a bike? And I said, well, I said, Gay's got a bike now.
Yes.
And she said, no. I said, why not? She said, you'll kill yourself. He's sensible. You're not sensible. You're stupid.
What a remarkable woman your wife is. No wonder I love her so much. And what a keen appreciation of real worth she has.
Yeah, so I'm not.
So what did you do, Gerry?
So I didn't get one, obviously. Obviously I didn't get one. And it really annoys me because the more gurrier element that surround me in my daily life, some of whom are actually outside, are saying, you mean you let your wife stop you? Yes is the answer to that.
I was about to say that, and then I thought better of it, yes.
Yes, I did.
So no bike for Gerry?
No bike for Gerry, no. But I mean, bike for Gay and another bloody bike for Gay as well.
Wonderful.
Now, did you have to okay it with our friends and you too about handing? Because, you know, it's kind of a touchy enough sort of a thing, giving away a present.
Yes, I did. Yes, I passed it by them, but since they knew, of course, it was for the Children's Hospital, who could refuse the Children's Hospital? So that was perfectly all right. And I talked to Bono the night we were together at the fashion show.
That was good, wasn't it? I enjoyed
it was good,
that.
Yeah, really good. There were nasty comments from my present wife, Miss Watkins, in relation to the amount of Jameson that you and I drank. There was a sort of a scandalous, libelous, outrageous comment.
You were delighted I arrived because I was the key to the large Jameson.
Well, you knew where the counter was, which is a great help, and off you went. And I must say I'm much obliged to you and so on, and I thought it was a rather happy occasion, but there's always a sort of a dissenting voice somewhere.
They're taking my headphones off.
Yes, there are two men behind you molesting you at the moment, Gerry, and I wonder what
they're going to now test, I would imagine, one of the channels.
Why don't you learn to operate this desk once and for all?
That's true. It has been. In fact, I was part of the design team of this desk. So it's
you could have fooled me.
It's this minor tragedy. See, we intended to expand the broadcast out into the open air. And we'll be doing that shortly. As a matter of fact, would it help, Charlie, one of our finest engineers just over my shoulder, if I took a break and a piece of music? Would that assist? Okay, good idea. Right. Now, welcome back in studio. We've got Mr. Byrne, things happening with the headphones and things not happening with the headphones, and fellas fixing cables. And this wouldn't normally happen unless your man was, to be honest, in the building. So it's your presence here that has brought out some of our finest, and indeed they're working hugely on your behalf.
May I interject for a brief moment and say two things? Sebastian Clayton, Adam's brother, looked after the
very brainy young
he looked after the whole website on the thing and helped us enormously. And I'd like to say thank you to him. Needless to say, thank you again to the four boys. And
how were you inveigled into it?
Into what?
Into giving away your beloved motorbike.
Well, I had that intention, Gerry, all the time. I knew that eventually, I put 10,000 miles up on it, and I knew eventually that the day would come when I would want to get rid of it.
Tell them the story about when you arrived, because he does courier sometimes. Tell them when you went round to Joe Duffy's house and you had your helmet on, you were delivering the book.
Well, there was nothing very much about that, because Joe Duffy, funnily enough, recognised me. But I've been in here several times with the yoke on, and
we've big signs outside saying remove your helmet.
Of course, remove your helmet. But it's just that if you're a courier, if they see you on a motorbike with a helmet, you're a non-person. You're a courier, and that's the end of it. So they don't have to check you out after that. May I say, I want to wish personally Alice O'Sullivan, your darling producer, who's leaving RTE today. Yeah. And of course, as you know, Gerry, and you will not dispute this, you will bear this out, I taught her every single thing she knows.
So she keeps reminding
both
us.
On the Gay Byrne show and on the Late Late Show. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. And Alice, the very best of luck to you, and our love goes with you.
Isn't it wonderful, this thing that she's doing, going to Tibet to work with those deprived children?
She is in her bib, I can tell you now.
You mean that's not true?
That is not true, Gerry.
My God, what's she actually doing?
She's going on a holiday.
On a holiday?
Going away on a drinks binge, that's what...
Not some sort of expensive skiing jaunt or something
kind of
like that.
Thing, yes. That would be typical of her.
Not a cent of charity involved in
not
her pals and her high-flying pals.
Yes. Oh, and we know who they are. Yes. Anyway, good luck, Alice. Good to see you, darling. Best of luck. Yeah, well done, Alice. Yeah. We spent years trying to get rid of her.
Amazing how she got to work with you when she was only 12. That's
right.
Incredible.
That is true.
Fantastic. Now, we are going to take, are we taking another break? Or are we just going, we're taking the caller. That's a good idea, right?
Oh,
hello, Lorna, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Hello.
And good morning, Gay.
Good morning.
It is just brilliant to hear you broadcast again as a guest this time.
Thank you very much indeed. You're so kind.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
lovely. I've listened to your programmes for years and years, all the time I was rearing my children, and it was a real privilege to be joined with the whole of Ireland with you. And now with the internet, I'm sure it's all round the world. And I think it's lovely that I gather that you have given, just from listening now, that you have given over your beloved bicycle or motorbike or Harley or jewel in the crown or whatever. We saw you being presented with it. And I think it's a lovely gesture.
Well, it's for the Research Foundation of the Children's Hospital in Crumlin, as you probably know. And I've been serving on that board for a little while now, so I think it's a very, very good cause. Who would dispute it being a good cause, I ask you, for children?
Yes, you're dead right there. And I myself, when I was a girl, had a Lambretta scooter. And I had lessons, and I have it on my licence that I am permitted to drive. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. They are brilliant fun. My daddy told me, take care on it, Lorna, and you will have a lovely time with it.
And you did.
I did.
And you did.
I did indeed. And I had to sell it there when Isaac and I got married. We had no money, and we had no electric. And we needed money to put the electric into the house.
Oh, God. You had to sell the scooter for that?
I had indeed. And a little man brought it to take him fishing, and I don't think he ever was out more than once or twice on it. But we got our electricity in the house, and it cost £100.
And that was courtesy of your scooter.
Nearly 40 years ago.
No greater love had a woman or a wife, indeed, than she sold her scooter for
Surrender
electricity.
her Lambretta.
Yeah.
Listen, Gay, it's just, and you know, I'm the one of the ones that got your piece of gold dust to go to Princess Diana's grave.
Really?
Yes. Do you remember the morning that you had the 4 pieces of gold dust in your hand? And we had to ring in with a story why we would like to go. And because I shook hands with Princess Di and told her she was lovely, you gave me one of those tickets.
And what did you do with it?
Pat Costello, I met 3 other ladies, and I hope they're listening. We were to get together again, and as all good intentions, it never was done. And I arrived down in Dublin, stayed overnight, and out on an airplane the next morning, and we were in a taxi from Birmingham Airport over to Northampton and out to Princess Diana's home, and saw where her last resting place is, and back home in the same day.
My goodness.
And it was brilliant. All thank you, Gay Byrne, and
Well,
I thank you.
there
And
you
I'm
are.
delighted you're so well and that you're enjoying your retirement.
Well, God bless you, my love.
And thank you, Gerry, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for talking to us this morning. You're very
Really
kind.
made my day.
Well done. Gold
Bye-bye.
dust. Why didn't I think of that?
And all the best, Alice, as well, if you're listening.
She is.
Apparently we have to take back the whole thing about the charity work. None of that's true, it turns out.
It doesn't matter. I'm sure if she was via you, she brought a lot of
she's
joy to a lot
heading
of
off
people.
with all her showbiz friends and her rich colleagues and heading off to the ski slopes.
Okay, I'm away to finish putting the rollers in my hair. Bye-bye.
A useful piece of information, Laura.
Goodbye
Thank
to
you
you,
very
love.
much
Bye-bye.
indeed.
Bye-bye.
Now, I think we're going to go outside now, aren't we? Isn't that the
Well,
idea?
is this for the official presentation
This is for
and
the
handing over? I see.
Outside, I presume, because you say that you've talked to Harry Crosbie.
It's very, very cold.
It's very,
put
very
on a
cold.
coat.
Have you brought down my coat, girls? Thank you. Know, those nurses that work for me are fantastic.
Well, for him, has people to bring down his coat and do everything else. I'm sure he has
You
whole...
had people to bring down a coat.
Never.
for you, did
I
you?
did everything myself. I got no help from anybody or a cooperation or anything else like
Yeah.
that.
Gay has come properly attired. He's got the scarf and he's got the coat and everything. Now, here we
I
go.
have the check in my pocket, I'll have you know.
You've got the check in your pocket. Excellent. Well done. Now, we've just put on our overcoats on the advice of Mr. Byrne.
Yes.
And we're going out now. It's sort of a trip down memory lane, really, for you
Little
as we
trip
walk
down
out.
memory lane, down the corridor, yes, and then there it is, my beloved number 5 studio down here, where I soldiered for many and many a day.
You see, they've done a lot to it now since you were here. Look.
Divil the thing they've done to it is still exactly the same.
No, but look at these other studios.
Oh
what they've
yes,
done
all
with them.
all posh things and so on.
I wonder what's
Typical
happening
London.
in your old studio.
I wonder what's happening. There is number. There's number.
That's number 5.
That's number 5.
Stick your head in, look.
Ah, look, it's all empty and unused at the moment. There's nobody in it just at this present
Just at this
time.
moment, but there
It
is.
brings back such happy memories, don't you know?
Indeed.
It's wonderful. And what's in number
And
6?
this is, of course, this is a studio number 6. And
Oh,
that's
this would be the heavy-duty studio.
posh
Oh,
there.
the heavy-duty studio. Mr. Kenny and that would be all very intellectual. That wouldn't be our stuff. No.
We're going back to light
No,
entertainment.
absolutely, yes. Come out before we call.
He looked desperately serious.
He
there,
always
didn't
very
he?
serious.
We did get a wave, though, I'd like to
we
say
did
to the
get a
listeners. There
wave,
was a
yes.
wave, yeah.
Sort of a half-hearted wave, I thought, but possibly because we were too concentrated.
There'll be an awful lot of questions asked about that afterwards. What were they doing, trying to wreck the programme? Coming in mid-stride.
I'm telling you, there's many a programme would be glad to have us, Gerry.
Many a programme would be glad to have us, and many a programme have had us. Your pass.
Your pass.
No, I don't have my pass. No. We've just opened the door. Now, there's Harry Crosbie, anyway, for certain over there.
Outside.
He's going.
Hold on.
Fantastic cable, this capable of. I can't get out, Gay. Hold on a second. I said, here we go.
Are we jam?
There's Stoney's doing a fantastic job with the cabling, though, isn't he? Well done. We're going out now. The door is open, as they've opened so many times before for Mr. Gay Byrne, who's now close behind him. Mr. Crosbie.
Good evening, gentlemen. I touched the hem of your garments.
Indeed.
Lovely
You're
to
too
see
good
you.
to
How
us.
are you?
Harry, first of all, thank you so much for your generosity in buying the bike and so on. Am I right in saying that you intend to show it in Vicar Street? Is
Well, we are, but we had toyed with the idea of putting a sidecar on it and taking it on the Holliers, but because my hero was the man in the Beano who used to have a sidecar made of a bat. I loved him. Do you remember Roy the Rovers?
That's right, yeah.
He was very good.
That would suit
But
you
then we
right enough.
decided that seeing as we've God's motorbike, we'd have to treat it with the respect and dignity and deference, which was due to it.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to hang it up in the bar in Vicar Street so that the populace of Ireland can have a good
Wonderful
look at it.
idea.
It's a very, very important thing.
You're not afraid the Gurriers will get at it?
Gurriers? There's no Gurriers in my venue. How dare you?
dare you?
There's no Gurriers at our prices. I hope there's no HP on this.
Do you want to sit on it for one last time, Gay?
Oh yeah. Start it up.
He's going to start her up.
Oh,
now.
I got to start it up. Ah, by golly, yes indeed. Ah, we start her
Throw
up.
the leg,
just
Gay.
just in case it's in gear.
Oh, what a sound!
Ah,
What a sound!
does that sound? No,
I want my money
hold on.
back.
Does that sound like a Harley, or does it sound like a Harley? Eh?
It's wonderful, yeah. That's a real man thing. All you need now, Gay, is a blonde behind you on the bike. Her hair streaming out in the slipstream.
This can be arranged also, Harry. Do you have anybody in mind?
I certainly do.
There
My
are
wife-
10,000 miles up on the clock, 10 happy, glorious,
Yeah,
fun-filled
yeah.
miles, which I wouldn't have missed for the world.
And now it's time to say goodbye to this
And now-
glorious piece of equipment that has given you so much pleasure.
Will I switch it off, Gerry?
Yes, please do, so that we can hear. But it was a lovely effect while it lasted.
Yes.
Now it's time to say goodbye. Is there just one little tinge of sorrow or sadness?
No.
Like saying goodbye to
A great
a
tinge.
well-behaved child.
A great tinge of gratitude to the boys for their lovely idea and for their presentation, and to assure them again that I've gained immense pleasure from it. And please God, if the Lord spares me, as they say, Ger, as you would say yourself, if the Lord spares me, that I will continue on 2 wheels for a while longer.
And may we wish you many more happy motoring miles. It's time now, I think, for the official presentation, the handover of the cheque. Mr. Byrne digs deep into his pocket to take out a cheque.
I think you'll find in this envelope a cheque.
I saw that you received a huge cheque actually quite recently in the papers. I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, you read my.
Excuse me.
You read my horoscope as well, did you?
Believed too, I did.
Yes,
Yes,
there
The
are
keys
the
are being handed
Yes.
over.
There are the keys.
Here is a very, very large cheque.
There is a
Thank
very,
you
very
much,
large
and
cheque.
God bless you and all who say
Now
that.
we'll just check
Yes,
the
yes,
cheque.
yes.
Yes.
Gay Byrne Harley auction, €30,000 signed.
Oh,
by-
we forgot about the night.
Oh,
As
yes,
well
yes,
as this,
yes,
as
yes,
well
yes,
as this,
yes,
up
as
in
well as
Vicar
this,
Street,
yes.
Gay Byrne is going to host a night for the stars, and we're going to ask every major star in Ireland to play in Vicar Street, which was going to be given free, and everything is going to be free, and all the money is going to Gay's Children's Charity, and we're going to call it Gay's Guest Gig. We nearly forgot to say that.
And we have here David Doran, who's the Chief Executive of the Research Foundation. And David, I'm handing that cheque over to you now with our best wishes. Say thank you to Harry for his kindness.
And we'll be going on sale with the show shortly, and it's going to have every single star, and every penny will go to Gay's charity to make up the money for the bike.
Thanks to Gay, thanks to Harry, thanks to you two and everyone associated with this. We're delighted to get this. It's going, as you know, Gay, you've been on our board for a number of years, so it's going into the research to try to stem the problems of childhood illness and disease. So we're delighted in Crumlin. Thank you all very much indeed.
And more to come, David. More to come when we have this night.
And we'll end on a song, I think. We'll meet
again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
That's all, folks. Was that good? That was fantastic.